Hello viewers, welcome to Big Man Business YouTube channel. Today, we're going to be talking about the top imports and export of Poland. Keep watching, we got you covered. In 2020, Poland imported $257.2 billion in goods from all around the world, up 36.4% from 2016 and 4.3% from 2019 to 2021. The Polish zloty has appreciated by 1.1% against the US dollar since 2016, but has dropped by -1.6% from 2019 to 2020, according to the average exchange rate for 2020. Since 2019, Poland's weakening local currency has made imports paid in stronger US dollars more affordable when converted from the Polish zloty. From a continental viewpoint, other European nations accounted for 76.9% of Poland's total imports by value. 18.8% of the value of import products purchased by Poland came from Asian trade partners. North America with 2% was followed by Latin America with 0.9%, which excluded Mexico but included the Caribbean. Africa got 0.7%, and Oceania got 0.1%. Which was topped by Australia and the Marshall Islands. With a population of 38 million people, Poland's 2021 imports of $257.2 billion equate to nearly 6,800 in annual product demand for each individual in the Central European country. If you're new to the Big Man Business YouTube channel, please subscribe and turn on the notification bell to receive updates on new business expert videos. For more international business news and updates, please visit www.bigmanbusiness.com. The following product groupings account for the majority of Poland's import purchases in 2020. The percentage share of each product category in terms of total imports into Poland is also given. $36 billion in electrical machinery and equipment accounts for 14% of total imports. $33.9 billion in machinery, including computers, account for 13.2%. $21.2 billion in vehicles account for 8.3%. $14.8 billion in plastics and plastic goods stands at 5.8%. Mineral fuels, which include oil, are worth $13.5 billion, which is 5.3%. $8.6 billion in iron and steel stands at 3.3%. $8.5 billion in pharmaceuticals accounts for 3.3%. $6.3 billion in optical, technical, and medical equipment accounts for 2.4%. $5.7 billion in iron and steel articles stands at 2.2%. $5.3 billion in clothing and accessories account for 2.1%. The top 10 imports from other nations accounted for 3/5, or 59.8% of the total value of Poland's goods acquisitions from other countries. The fastest growing cost increase among the top 10 import categories was imported pharmaceuticals, which increased by 31.9% from 2019 to 2020. Electrical machinery and equipment increased by 26.2% year-on-year, while unknitted and uncrocheted apparel and accessories increased by 25.9%. Poland's top exports. The Republic of Poland, a Central European country bordered by Germany, the Czech Republic, Slovakia, Ukraine, Belarus, Lithuania, and Russia, sent $271.1 billion worth of goods around the world in 2020. This figure represents a 38% growth from 2016 and a 7.6% increase from 2019 to 2020. The Polish zloty has appreciated by 1.1% against the US dollar since 2016, but has dropped by -1.6% from 2019 to 2020, according to the average exchange rate for 2020. Since 2019, Poland's lower local currency has made exports paid in stronger US dollars more expensive for overseas purchasers. According to the most recent available country-specific data, importers in Germany accounted for 28.9% of the global total, the Czech Republic with 5.8%, the United Kingdom with 5.7%, France with 5.6%, Italy with 4.3%, the Netherlands accounted for 4.2%, Russia accounted for 3%, Sweden accounted for 2.9%, the United States accounted for 2.8%, Spain with 2.5%, Hungary with 2.5%, and Slovakia purchased 70.9% of products exported from Poland. From a continental standpoint, 88.6% of Poland's exports were supplied to European countries, while 5.6% were sold to Asian importers. Another 3.6% of Poland's exports went to North America. Africa got 1.2%, Latin America excluding Mexico but including the Caribbean got 0.6%, and Oceania, led by Australia, received smaller percentages of 0.4%. Poland's total $271.1 billion in 2020 exports equates to nearly $7,100 for every citizen of the Central European country, based on the country's 38 million residents. The following export product groupings will account for the majority of Polish global shipments in 2020. The percentage share of each export category in terms of total exports from Poland is also shown. $36.5 billion in machinery, including computers, accounts for 13.5% of total exports. $34.3 billion in electrical machinery and equipment accounts for 12.6%. $26.3 billion in vehicles account for 9.7%. $14.8 billion on furniture, bedding, lighting, signage, and prefabricated buildings account for 5.4%. $13.1 billion in plastics and plastic goods account for 4.8%. $8.6 billion in iron and steel articles account for 3.2%. $5.53 billion in meat stands at 2%. $5.53 billion in wood account for 2%. $5.47 billion in optical, technical, and medical equipment accounts for 2%. $5.3 billion in rubber and rubber products accounts for 2%. Poland's top 10 exports accounted for over 3/5 of the total value of its global shipments, which stands at 57.4%. Wood was the fastest growing export category among the top 10, increasing by 59.5% from 2019 to 2020. Electrical machinery and equipment came in second with a 34.4% increase in export sales. Poland's shipments of plastics, comprising goods made of plastic, increased by 11.6%, the third fastest increase in value. Vehicles went down by -11.5%, and meat, which was down by -11.5%, were the only two annual decliners among Poland's top 10 export categories, down by -5%. Automobile parts or accessories stands at 4.5%, computers including optical readers account for 2.3%, TV receivers, monitors, or projectors account for 2.2%, seats also 2.2%, miscellaneous furniture 2.1%, cars also 2.1%, electric storage batteries stands at 1.5%, cigarettes or cigars also at 1.5%, trucks account for 1.3%, and phone systems also 1.3% are Poland's most valuable export products at the 4-digit harmonized tariff system code level. Poland's total exported goods account for 21.2% of the country's overall gross domestic product, which represents $1.281 trillion in purchasing power parity US dollars in 2020. In PPP terms, exports will account for 21.2% of overall GDP in 2020, compared to 20.5% in 2019. Although based on a short duration, this implies that Poland's entire economic performance is becoming increasingly reliant on products sold on overseas markets. The unemployment rate is another important measure of a country's economic performance. According to Trading Economics, Poland's average jobless rate for 2020 was 6.5%, up from 5.5% a year earlier. Warsaw is Poland's capital city. Poland's top trading partners. In 2020, the Republic of Poland, often known as Polonia meaning land of the fields, exported $271.1 billion worth of commodities around the world. This figure represents a 38% growth from 2016 and a 7.6% increase from 2019 to 2020. Using a continental perspective, 88.6% of Poland's exports were supplied to European countries, while 5.6% were sold to Asian importers. Another 3.6% of Poland's exports went to North America. Africa got 1.2%, Latin America excluding Mexico but including the Caribbean got 0.6%, and Oceania, led by Australia, received smaller percentages of 0.4%. The following is a list of Poland's most important trading partners in terms of export sales. In terms of dollar value, these are the nations that imported the most Polish shipments in 2020. The percentage of total Polish exports for each import nation is also indicated. Germany, 78.4 billion accounts for 28.9% of total exports from Poland. Czech Republic with $15.8 billion stands at 5.8%. $15.5 billion from the United Kingdom accounts for 5.7%. $15.1 billion with France stands at 5.6%. $11.8 billion via Italy is 4.3%. $11.5 billion in the Netherlands account for 4.2%. $8.2 billion for Russia stands at 3%. Sweden $7.9 billion account for 2.9%. $7.7 billion worth of trade with the United States is 2.8%. Spain with $6.9 billion account for 2.5%. Hungary with $6.8 billion stands at 2.5% also. $6.7 billion with Slovakia account for 2.5%. Belgium with $6.4 billion stands at 2.4%. $6 billion for Ukraine is 2.2%. Romania with $5.7 billion account for 2.1%. In 2022, the previously mentioned trading partners will account for more than 3/4, or 77.6% of Polish exports. Hungary was the only major importer that reduced its purchases from Poland from 2019 to 2020, with a -2.7% decline in value. Gains varied from 0.6% for Italy to 14% for Sweden among the remaining 14 countries. Thanks for watching this video. We are open to suggestions. Kindly drop your comments in the comment box and don't forget to subscribe to the Big Man Business YouTube channel. See you in the next video.